Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be going over a very powerful entry-level dual-wield monk build for Inferno. Now, I know I'm standing in Act 2 and saying entry-level, but I actually just got this monk to 60 today. Went to Act 1 and it was just too easy with this build, so I had a buddy pull me into Act 2 and I've begun my Inferno progression from there. So just to give a quick idea of what we're looking at, we got Fist of Thunder with Thunderclap. That's pretty much the staple of this build. You know, you're teleporting between enemies, nice little bit of AoE on your hits, so overall I think it's a great spirit generator. Dashing Strike with Way of the Falling Star. Can't stress enough how awesome this is. I know a lot of people just, glance over this and don't bother with it because it doesn't have lots of big numbers on it, but this move is, honestly, mobility is key in this game. And this is, if you ever played a Barbarian, this is your leap. If you ever played a Demon Hunter, this is your vault. This move is what's going to get you out of the bad situations. It's going to let you shoot from mob to mob and keep up your massacre bonus. It's going to let you, when your sweeping wind's about to go down, it's going to be what gets you that last guy that's on the edge of the screen to keep the bonus going. Moving on to that, sweeping wind. Honestly, one of my favorite skills. I mean, you get 3 stacks up, it's just an extra 60% weapon damage going full time. And I know a lot of people debate between Bladestorm and Cyclone. For now I'm using Bladestorm. As I mentioned, I just hit level 60, so my crit rate's still rather low. I didn't focus on crit with my current gear loadout, so we're going to run Bladestorm for now. But once you get to that 20-30% crit area, Cyclone is an excellent choice as well. Mantra of Conviction with overall. With dual wield, obviously you're not going to be doing tons and tons of damage, so having that mantra up, especially with the overall on, it's a ton of extra damage you're going to be putting out, especially when you repop it for bosses and whatnot. Put them up to that 48% damage. It's just going to keep things moving much faster. We got Serenity. And the nicest thing about Serenity is this is going to break crowd control effects. And I can't stress enough, it's the same thing as, mobility from Dashing Strike, being able to get out of, being feared or frozen or jailed or anything else. It's invaluable in my opinion. And then finally we got Breath of Heaven, which isn't here so much for the heal as much as it is that extra 15% damage you're going to get. Moving on to passives, one with everything, pretty much a staple for Inferno monks until you have so much resistance that it's unnecessary. As I mentioned, this is fresh 60, so this move really helps survivability. Resolve, especially moving into Inferno where enemies are going to deal tons of damage, reducing that by 25% is always a plus. And then finally I have near-death experience because you never know when someone's going to ring the doorbell or your phone's going to go off or you're going to get distracted and then you're going to slip up. So having that is kind of like your fail-safe. Like something happens, you look away from the screen for a second, middle of farming Inferno, and this is what's going to keep you alive for those 2 seconds so you don't go down. So to give you an idea of the gear I'm running, wasn't too expensive. Everything is probably around eye level 61, 62. As you can see, there's nothing too crazy. All I really did was search for items that had Dex, Vitality, and then Fire Resist and Resist All. Amulet was probably the most expensive. I know that was a little higher, like upwards of 1 million, but I like it. I think it was worth it. But basically, aside from the heavy hitter like the Amulet, I think all this gear cost about 3 mil. And as you can see, it's nothing too crazy. I think the weapons were only about 500,000 each, which in my opinion isn't too bad for being over 850 DPS and have over 800 life on hit on each. And a big thing about entry-level Inferno is if you want progression as soon as you hit Inferno, you really want to stack resist. So when you have something like one with everything, finding one solid set of resist gear, like in this case fire and resist all, that's going to be what gets your values way up. And we got a puzzle ring on for now. That's actually in the process of getting replaced, so don't worry about that. But moving on to stats, as I mentioned with one with all, it's it's going to skyrocket your resist up. I mean, you know, just hit 60 today, and I'm over 1,000 resist and everything, and that is a huge bonus for Inferno. You don't need to have this much resist. When I was just going through and buying the gear, that's just what the number happened to be at, so, you know, I went with it. You know, 2,000 life on hit, and that's really where the staples are going to be in this build. You know, like I said, I got 800 on each fist weapon. Ring has 150, another 350 or so on the amulet, and that's really what's going to be keeping you alive. But, you know, some basics. Vitality's a little over 1,000. Dexterity's almost at 1,300, so, you know, nothing too crazy. Now, the nice thing about this build, as I mentioned, is going to be your mobility between teleporting with Fists of Thunder and then dashing strike. It's going to let you move from mob to mob to mob, you know, keep those massacre bonuses going, keep killing faster, and ultimately that's what's going to get you the higher boosts of XP. And, you know, after all, who wants to level slow? You know, it's a fast-paced world. We want to go, go, go. This is the build for that. So, basics, conviction up, pop Breath of Heaven, and you always want that up before you pop Sweeping Wind, because then your Sweeping Wind is going to receive the benefit of that extra 50% damage. As you can see, we're fighting electrified fire chains, helping the teleporter. Fairly tricky group. And we'll pop Serenity real fast. Should probably do a little bit more micro than just standing in those fire chains. I mean, I'd say back in, you know, 1.3, that probably would have been the end of me. So, if you have been waiting for this patch to continue your progression, you can see things are pretty breezy right now. That was I don't know if I consider that particularly hard, elite group, but regardless, you can see it wasn't too hard. Pop Serenity once, and that was mostly not moving out of fire chains. But as you can see, I mean, you got very fast with this build. You want to try and keep Sweeping Wind going. Dashing works great for that. Same for Teleport on. You know, if it's about to go down, it's always easy to just, you know, find the closest pop, click on it real fast, and it's going to keep that going for you. Especially once you get to 3 stacks. You keep that up to 3 stacks. You're really just going to quietly pops. That's the trash Inferno mobs. Basically one-shotting my Barbarian. Had him in this area, so it's definitely but hopefully you guys enjoy watching. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message in game at Cowboy1524. Message on YouTube. I don't have a lot of videos up. This is just something I decided I should start doing. So if you like the video, subscribe. It's going to be a lot better tone, but I'm actually getting capture card 360, so the console games as well. Tons of 360 stuff coming from Sony. So once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.